someone brought to my attention that there is a possibility that eye retinal scan, iris scanning through biometrics, will be used as part of the technology to confirm whether a person has the mark of the beast or not. Now, I don't believe that's too far-fetched. I mean, if you want to get technical, I mean, you can say, well, it's not the eyes are not part of the forehead. And we don't see the eyes in the forehead as we know it. However, if you want to really get technical, where is the forehead on the head? The forehead constitutes the upper third of the face. It is delineated superiorly by the hairline and inferiorly by the glabella and frontal nasal groove, centrally, and the eyebrows overlying the supraorbital ridges laterally. So it's basically talking about this area here. But we do see the sockets towards the upper part of the head. I mean, you draw a line here, 50% below and 50% above, you see that the sockets are, around in the 60% region, I would say. So my point is that I don't think it's too far-fetched to consider the possibility that eye retinal scan, iris scanning through biometrics is going to be a type of tool used with the mark of the beast system. I mean, my personal theory, as I stated before, this tissue area here is a perfect place to house a type of RFID chip right here, right between the eyes. But someone, like I said, they said, well, what about iris scanning, biometrics, retinal scannings? I consider that a possibility. Well, take a look at this video clip and you'll see a little bit more about this technology.
The agency tells CBS News that nearly all passengers now get through in less than 30 minutes. That's pretty good. But Chris Van Cleve at Baltimore Washington International Airport shows us a concierge service that's helping some flyers skip the line altogether. Chris, I like the sound of this. Good morning.
Good morning. They call it Clear, and the idea is to use these machines to get you to the front of that security line as quickly as possible. But the company sees a future where you could show up to the airport with no ID, no credit cards, no boarding pass. All you would need, a fingerprint and your bags.
Please center your eyes in the mirror. Please center your eyes.
This is the latest way to beat the airport's security lines.
So what you're going to do is press both thumbs on that black pad. Yep.
Clear is a private company using biometric authentication, an iris scan or fingerprint to verify a passenger's identity.
You are clear.
And then leads that passenger around the long line of people waiting to have their IDs checked by the TSA and right to screening.
The stress, the anxiety, the hassle that everybody feels is a meaningful experience upgrade.
CEO Karen Seidman-Becker.
What Clear has done is not different of what ATM machines have done or what EasyPass has done.
Clear is different from TSA PreCheck, which allows pre-screened passengers to go through an expedited physical screening. But nearly 40% of Clear's 600,000 customers use both services, like business traveler Erica Hyman. How much time do you think it saves you at a checkpoint on a busy day?
30 plus minutes?
30 minutes. Clear is not affiliated with the TSA, but Administrator Peter Neffinger says he sees the potential for biometrics to improve airport security. Right now, Clear is in 13 airports nationwide with a goal of being in 24 by the end of the year.
So we have to understand that he was doing the best he could to try to convey these things to us, but we're in a totally different era. We're in a totally different time period with the technology having advanced so highly as it is now. So we can see that when he says the forehead, it can mean the eye sockets, the areas in the upper part of the face, and that can include. I mean, if you've seen a vision where people are going through a type of system to where something is being scanned at the upper part of their body and their head, upper towards above their nose, then he's considering it to be the forehead area. And I believe the eyes are above that 50% mark, and they're more towards the top of the head. So either way, it's a good point that the person made. Is it possible? And we already see the technology out there that eye retinal scanning can be a tool used by the Antichrist and associated with the mark of the beast. I'm not going to rule it out because there's no definitive answer as to what that area truly is in the upper region of the forehead, in the area of the forehead. It can mean a type of insertion here right between the eyes. There's a fatty part on many of us, and all of us actually. We have extra skin, it seems, right there at this region, this area here, and something can easily be inserted there without causing any major damage. But the eyes, the sockets, these orbits, they're in the skull. And this is in the upper part of the head. And I believe another definition of forehead, if you go down here, they considered forehead to be the top of the body. And they just say the top of the body. They don't say, a third part or the top third part of the head. They just say the top of the body. So there's different understandings or definitions of where the forehead actually is, and it can be thought of as, the top portion above the eyes or above the eyebrows or right at the base of the eyebrow. But I don't see it too far-fetched to consider the eyes being at the upper part of the head in the forehead. It's something to consider as we are getting closer to that time when biometrics will take over, and for security, for safety, for convenience, and this type of implementation, this technology will be implemented throughout the world. And once the ruler, that one ruler, that dictator, that lawless one, gets his hands on this technology, he's going to implement that to do business with. If they do not have this mark located in their right hand or in their forehead, they will be singled out, and they will have to suffer a great penalty for not taking the mark of the beast. However, we see that those who do take the mark of the beast will have a curse upon them, and they will not experience eternal life, according to the Bible. They have literally given themselves over to the Antichrist system. They've pledged allegiance to Satan. They crossed the line. So let's just keep our eyes open and understand that the technology is out there, and it's getting more refined as the days go by. And who knows what's going to come out next? And that's why we got to be ready and got to be prepared and keep watching. Until next time.
Passwords. You can never get them right the first time. Can you remember them all? The variations with a capital, a number, a sign. So frustrating. Passwords are a pain. It's time to move on. Meet MasterCard Identity Check, a solution using cutting-edge biometric technology. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to move on.
It's time to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to move on.